and alive. Hopefully, TM.
Alive.
But yeah, no, it sounds like stream went down for a little bit. Correct me if I'm mistaken. It looks like the lobby is kind of getting back together.
Yeah, we're back in right now, and right there, it started off pretty well for Saffron Rice, actually. Dia got a couple big kills, kind of influenced the middle there at the beginning. But things have kind of gone the other way for them now. Hexen and Kiver both have kind of been running around the map and getting kills. They've been doing a lot of just running together there. You see right now, though, Saffron Rice is kind of backed up into their spawn right now. Dia's going to have to jump back. Stingray is coming out here from the sloshing machine. But so far, it's been a little bit better than the last game look, at least.
Okay. Yeah, no, and just for reference, we're waiting on the next battle, so I think we're gonna have a radio play-by-play cast from your part on your behalf of what's going on. I mean, obviously, like for the first game, we didn't really see too much in action for Saffron Rice, but it looks like they're kind of getting their act together, maybe potentially.
A little bit. It's like I said, it is looking better than the last time. The super jumps are coming in here right now. So right now it's 81-38 with the leader being SetToDestroyX. They're making the push. We are on Mako Mark here, tower control. Right now, though, the map is just so teal. I guess you'd call that teal. Teal, turquoise. Stingray is going to be coming in here from ice, trying to pick some people out there. They are at the checkpoint right now, trying to get past the 38 point. They're about halfway through it. Kiver and Dia dueling on the bottom of the screen. It is a trade, and a very important trade at that. They are going to force them off the tower here. Hexen wins 1v1 against Kazuki. Going to retreat back, but the tower is going to slowly and gradually move back to mid. So it's a successful defense, but it's still pretty rough right now. There's 2 minutes left in the game. So they haven't really gotten any sort of offense. They've been playing defense for almost the entire game.
Yeah, and that's the thing you kind of want to see them evolve from, right? I mean, even in talking about, you know, Saffron Rice, and we've talked about kind of how maybe they have something of a better chance without paying it, but even then, like, you know, you can't be on the defense the whole time, and maybe you have to wait until the last minute where they really get something going. But as you're saying, yeah, it seems like they're on the defensive for the most part, which is not the most encouraging look.
Right, it's not. But when you look at the comps here, it kind of tells you the story here. So SetToDestroyX is rolling with NZAP, Dapple Nouveau, the original sloshing machine, and a custom blaster here. So that is, I mean, that is Attack on Titan right there. That is a full dive and assault comp there. They are running all over the map here, pressuring. I don't think Dia's gotten to go to the middle of the map once this entire game. Right now, Hexen actually is waiting to do just that and does get the kill onto Dia with the custom blaster. Is going to get taken out here, but they're just so much more mobile than the comp that Saffron Rice is putting out. Saffron Rice does have a slosher deco. They've got Kazuki on the blaster. Dia, of course, on the Splatling and D-Nerd playing the splatter shot, but it's just too much mobility from SetToDestroyX right now. Another minute has gone by. Saffron Rice is finally on the tower here to the first checkpoint. We'll see if they can get past it. Kazuki's already down, though. Phlox is getting singled out as well. Dia goes down on the tower. Phlox goes down, and it's all going downhill, man. It's not looking good.
Okay, you know what? Fine. So be it. They might lose tower control on Mako Mart. Let's look at the next one, kind of, maybe, as to where they might go from here. Would you consider Saffron Rice the kind of team to kind of bounce back on something like Rainmaker in particular?
I think looking at the compositions right now, I don't know how they're going to deal with the mobility. If SetToDestroyX opts to use this similar type of comp, they're just going to be so mobile, going to have so much control. I don't know that they're going to even get a chance to. You're seeing right now a lot of specials being used to push in by Saffron Rice, but it's just not mattering. The ability to shut down those pushes and to shut down those specials by SetToDestroyX, it's almost making them a non-factor, even though we know from experience that specials are an important part of the game.
Generally, yes. You know, I hear that overtime, you know, ringer in the distance, kind of, and it looks like there might be a slim glimmer of hope, but it probably won't last too long.
No, it ended right as you said that. Stingray takes out the 3 members of Saffron Rice that were sitting around the tower here. But even if they had managed to get onto the tower, there were 2 people sharking right around there. No question that one was going in the way of SetToDestroyX. And Ice, 21 KA there.
Jesus.
5 Stingrays. But the lowest, I'll tell you this tells the story. The lowest KA on SetToDestroyX there was 12. That was the lowest. They had 2 members at 18, and then Ice sitting at 21.
Come on. That's insane. Wouldn't have seen it coming.
It's It's brutal right now. Although I will say Walleye Warehouse, there's a lot of familiarity from both teams here. This is one that I really feel like if the Splatling can get set up of Dia, you can really, really take a lot of mid. You can kind of control things down, those long, narrow pathways. We know Stingray is great there, but I mean, we said, I don't even think that it's necessarily Dia playing bad. I think SetToDestroyX just knows how to move Splatlings around. And Splatlings are so popular in Japan right now. We know about all the scrims that SetToDestroyX does against the Japanese teams. They are definitely well-versed in that matchup.
For sure. We'll have to see. You know, if we do end up having something different happen on this side of town, on the side of Walleye Warehouse. Is Walleye Warehouse the good or bad part of town?
I mean, I feel unfairly that the industrial parts of towns are usually called the bad parts of town.
Right? Yeah.
This is blue collar right here. These are good, hardworking folks making a living for them and their families. So I think this is good. I think some industry in the hedonistic society that the Inklings live, I think that industry is what they need.
All right, come on, hold up. Let's calm down real quick. Hedonistic society? What is this?
That was used in a Sunken Sea scroll. That's not even me.
Are you kidding?
No, I'm not kidding.
Okay. That's fine. You know what? I believe you. But that's still crazy. I don't know. Either way, we're going to go ahead and get into this one. You see SetToDestroyX in the light green. And Saffron Rice in the orange here as we're going to go ahead and get underway. And yeah, not too much changing in comps.
No, Phlox has gone over to the Brella, though. I guess Phlox, those last two games, went with the Slosher Deco. Guess felt like that wasn't really his MO. Maybe a few too many 1v1s. It's actually starting out pretty all right. Kazuki goes in, gets a nice double kill, though Kiver's able to duel around. That's still a 1v3 situation. Kiver is able to take out two of them, though. Phlox is going to be the last one there. So really clutch kills by Kiver there in a 1v3 situation, being able to take two of them out.
Yeah, it looks like they're getting this push kind of going here. Phlox here, at least on the front line as a Rainmaker, and you would like to think that his teammates would have to push up ahead of him to get something going, but he's still going to go ahead and say, screw it, let's get it to this 46-point marker and get something going here. It looks like Ice here might be getting a little bit of a wraparound onto someone, but it won't last for too long here, as it looks like SetToDestroyX is going to be cleaning up camp for now.
Yeah, no, that was just textbooks right there. You said it yourself. Ice was moving around the other side, and then Kiver and Fuzzy were crashing. It's that pincer attack, and SetToDestroyX, one of, if not the best Western team at doing it.
Yeah, you see Fuzzy on this left side here with Ice trying to see what they can do and push up. But on the other side of the map, we do see Haxon kind of pushing up on the Nerd. Gets the double with the direct on the Phlox and activates the Inkshot. Seems like he might be ready to start a push here. Does spawn out Dia, and the Stingray is going to corner him in the corner of this map. And it looks like they're going to be able to take him down and get the lead here, as this Rainmaker is kind of pushing toward it relatively deep here.
Yep, Phlox is the last one up here. They're going to be able to push this one even further. We'll see if they go for the bonk or just go for the big right there. They do get... They do get it a little bit, so that's good right now. But you just see the members of Saffron Rice continue to go down. Such great time specials. Wait, how did they both live that?
What? How is I still alive? Okay, that makes sense now. But still, how did they even live for that long?
That was the most benevolent Rainmaker shield I've ever seen in my life. I've seen people not even in the lobby get killed by Rainmaker pops like that. So, a great job there surviving that. Kazuki, though, doing a great job of working around, uses that splashdown a little bit prematurely. Dia might be able to run this one all the way up and get the lead. The bonk not going to be enough, losing it just in time. But I have to feel like if that splashdown had not gone down from Kazuki, if Kazuki was able to secure that kill earlier and join that push, they might have gotten the lead off of that.
Yeah, I think so too. But unfortunately, I mean, they caught SetToDestroyX with their heads down and kind of completely not covering the objective there, and unfortunately just wasn't able to get it coordinated in time. But yeah, they were incredibly close. Obviously, the 2-point difference being the only thing separating these two teams. And we do see Fuzzy and Ice here kind of towards the Rainmaker right now. Let's see if, you know, Dia is able to put on the pressure needed to kind of get this defensive effort going here. It looks like a lot of effort from the SetToDestroyX side is pushing up in the alley here, but they're going to let this Rainmaker kind of ride in favor of kind of being able to take care of all of Saffron Rice here.
Yeah, and one moment that I do want to highlight there is you saw Kiver and Phlox kind of dueling and dancing there at the bottom of the screen. Phlox was trying to come up here and do that pincer attack we were talking about. Kiver wasn't able to get the kill by himself, but he was able to do just enough to keep Phlox out of that fight there, and that really helped the rest of the team kind of set up shop in the middle.
Yeah, we see Phlox here kind of struggling here, and he's going to require some assistance with the Stingray, but does get kind of turned around on by Ice, but he will at least be able to get the trade there in that situation, as Rainmaker still hasn't kind of been touched in the last minute or so. Looks like these teams are really focusing on trying to win this fight and kind of clear out space in front of that objective before trying to get a push going.
And it makes sense as we see a nice double kill coming in from Dia being matched immediately by a double kill from Kiver there. Now, finally, there is some room in the middle. D-Nerd's going to have to do a good job here of painting. Has Phlox. There's no need to advance haphazardly. You already see Hexen in the middle, though. Does get taken out. Great job there by D-Nerd, knowing exactly where that was going. The rain is going to come in. D-Nerd going to go to the top.
Oh, come on! Oh, gets the trade.
Gets the trade, and that could be a big, big deal. You see Kazuki going to be running in by himself there. Is able to stay alive. Nope, does get taken down here. Oh my goodness, if D-Nerd had been able to get that kill instead of a trade, this would be an entirely different look. Dia's Stingray going to go largely on, it's not a huge impact. D-Nerd going to be running around again, but gets swallowed up. Now this map is going to turn teal so quickly. This is the best that Saffron Rice has looked. They've been a kill and a trade away from taking the lead.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it still might not even be enough. They're still facing the 3-0 deficit in 25 seconds time here. Ice with the rest of their teammates kind of, showing up on this offensive effort. Fuzzy here on the front lines, maybe able to take care of at least a couple more Saffron Rice members to end the game. Is able to get rid of at least one. Phlox able to survive for just a second longer here. What can Phlox do to preserve this game? And it looks like at least they'll be able to clear out the middle of the map. Will they be able to get rid of Hexen, though, is the question.
Well, the answer to that question is a resounding no. Phlox did about all that could be done there in a 1v2 situation to pop the Rainmaker, but when the Stingray is online, even if you are able to clear things out, you still have to touch the Rainmaker, and as we saw there, time ticked away, as it so often does here. SetToDestroyX looking very good. Kiver with that 19 KA and a very important trade there. We talked about it earlier. D-Nerd moving up to the top of the screen, being able to crash in very close to Splashdown as well. Could have entirely changed that engagement. But hey, sometimes it's the kills you get, not the number of them you get.
Yeah, definitely, especially with something that revolves around just throwing yourself to the opposite side of the map and just doing what you can to move the objective. Sometimes, yeah, as you said, the importance of those kills are oftentimes in those modes more important than anything else.
Seeing now Splat Zones on Schellendorf Institute. This is a fun one to watch. You see some really unconventional team comps here. I remember one of the, in Dio Cup, one of the team compositions that I saw was Double Dapple. And not the Dapple Nouveau either. It was the Double Dapple that has Suction Bomb Rush. This is a big, bold zone, and you can rain down on it from above.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is something that we, frankly, I feel like we haven't really even seen in tournaments too much. I feel like it got a lot of flack towards its release because people were kind of tired of maps as a whole and just adding on new maps to their library of what they had to practice for tournaments. And I feel like we just haven't seen it as much in general. That being said, it's a fun one to see, and I have a lot of fun seeing the kind of interactions that happen towards the middle of the map, both on the ground level and up top on glass. That's where you kind of see a lot of especially a lot of playing around with what kind of weapons you want to have people equip on glass there. Rapid Blaster being often I see a favorite on this map.
Yes. Yes, Rapid Blaster, the Pro in particular. The regular Rapid Blaster does have enough range to kind of chip damage people on the other side of that glass, but the Pro is the sweet spot. You can hit people, you can get clean directs there, and you can shoot them deceptively far back. And of course, it does have the Rain Cloud, which is great when you have a nice, long, thin zone like this. So we'll see. I'll be interested to see what SetToDestroyX goes. I don't think we'll see too much changing from Saffron Rice's composition, but the versatility of STDX should be on full display here.
It definitely should be, and I'm expecting really nothing less, as we'll see SetToDestroyX in the yellow and Saffron Rice in the purple here as we go ahead and get this one underway.
Double Slosher Deco coming out here from Saffron Rice. I guess they're going for that baller pressure there. The sprinkler should help as well, but BTS Ice using the splatter scope, the Firefin splatter scope at that. So all you Charger fans out there, look alive.
Yeah, he's having a bunch of fun here. He was able to at least get rid of Kazuki here at the beginning of the game. We'll have to see if he can come up with anything more here. So far, looking good here for SetToDestroyX, who have been able to maintain control of the middle of the map so far. Get their spots when needed, and once again, coming out on top of Kazuki, here is Ice. Inkjet's going crazy, and ooh, this is not looking too good for Saffron Rice here at the beginning.
No, it's not looking good, and you know, you understand why. So because Splatlings are so popular here, there's kind of a niche for chargers to come back now. Their relationship between those two long-range options, always something that's fun. Hasn't been explored as much here in Splatoon 2, as we've seen, of course, the longer-range weapons kind of fall out of favor. Now they're coming back, though, and so this is another matchup, a rock, paper, scissors, if you will, but I'm interested to see.
Oh, it looks like SetToDestroyX in their 1v1 with Slox might have mispredicted where he was moving there, but still gets the splat onto him as Kiver, as he's going to be able to dip, dive, and dodge his way around Nerd and still stay alive until getting splatted out. Idea who gets the double here and might be able to save Saffron Rice here and their zone.
Absolutely. Dia had to get both of those kills and had to get them without trading. You see Dia now at the bottom of this. It's kind of an interesting position here. SetToDestroyX has called out that direction, and Dia's going to have to find a way to be an influencer on this kind of situation here, despite being in an awkward spot. He is able to work the way back up to the top. D-Nerd and going to come around the backside, but the bomb rush that we talked about, the suction bomb rush, we had the weapon wrong, but we had the special right there. Going to neutralize it right as they were about to take the lead.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they're able to get control of zones immediately back, but that still hurts them. That means they're still about maybe 10 real seconds of, oh my goodness, just barely surviving that splat bomb. 10 real seconds of getting onto the zone. Unfortunately, they weren't able to hold on to it for that long, and it looks like SetToDestroyX finally have their act together here again.
That was a really fun-looking play there. You saw at the top of your screen there, Enema, of course, being Hexen. God, that still makes me laugh. But jumped off the side, knowing that he was cornered, and then used his Inkjet to shoot back up. D-Nerd was still able to get the kill there, but, you know, still fun to see.
Yeah, let's go ahead and see what they're able to do from Glacier. It doesn't look like Ice is on top of Glacier, whereas Saffron Rice does have two able to free reign Ink down onto the middle of the zone. It's going to lead to capping it. Doesn't exactly mean they've taken complete lead in the 1v1 or firefight category here. We'll have to see if they can get any splats onto SetToDestroyX. It looks like Dia's able to get Hexen there with his special in particular, and nicely being able to get Kiver on top of the zone. That means they should be able to take the lead unless the splat, the bomb rush is going to be able to come out just in time, but Dia's going to be able to cover enough ink onto the zones, making sure that they get the lead. That's the first lead they've gotten in this set.
Their entire set, and I was really nervous there. D-Nerd had lost a 1v1 at the bottom of the screen to Fuzzy that allowed Fuzzy to come crashing back in there. But Dia, once again, we've been saying that name so much, being just what they needed, covering just enough of the zone to get them that lead.
Yeah, just enough of it indeed, and now you have to wonder where Saffron Rice can go with this and how much they can hold this. It looks like they're going to get a nice coordinated push on this left side and be able to completely take zone again. Really impressive effort here on Saffron Rice to be able to recover finally after 3 games, getting their act together, and more than getting their act together, putting together coordinated pushes that really are putting SetToDestroyX down for now.
And something like that was more impressive to me, the push was really nice, but that time they sent SetToDestroyX in 2 of their frontliners there. I believe it was their 2 shooters to go and try to put some pressure on the enemy team. And Saffron Rice this time was the one that had the perfect defense there. Got 3 down without losing any of theirs.
Nerd with the baller on top of Kiver, I suppose. It looks like they're still going to be able to keep control of zone until the 12-point marker before the bomb rush comes out. Still was able to recap it. And they're completely dominating the ground level of this one. Ice is not able to get the picks they may want to be getting here. And it looks like Hexen's just going to decide go in, but it's not going to result in much of anything here. Kiver is doing what they can to get their splashdown on zone and get some ink control on top of it. It looks like that's going to be enough, at least to help this effort out. Kiver still somehow alive before going down to the hands of Dia. And with 1 point remaining for Saffron Rice, they're going to have to hold on for just 26 more seconds.
This is so close, and this is the moment. Just don't do anything too crazy. You see 2 people at the top of your screen going to take down Hexen. Hexen going to be able to take down one of them. They're putting so many resources at the top of the screen. I don't know that I agree with that. Kazuki fortunately coming to the bottom of the screen and doing just enough to keep that zone neutralized, but now it gets scary. They need to build up their specials here. This penalty is ticking down. They can't do anything too different. They can't get too crazy here. Let's see if they can get this.
Ice has not been able to land their shot on Kazuki for a little while, and maybe some nerves coming in. Yep, they were able to recap zone from that alone. I saw Ice on my perspective. He had a clean shot of Kazuki for at least like 5 seconds, and just Kazuki was moving left and right and dodging every single one of his shots. And, you know, missing out on that opportunity to get at least rid of one Saffron Rice member, making it a little bit more difficult for them to approach, maybe would have helped, but unfortunately not going to go their way. Saffron Rice finally gets a point on the board.
A great looking game from them, and I can't wait to see the statistics after this set is done. I want to know how much paint Kazuki put down and Dia as well, because I swear half of the game, all Dia was doing is just painting mid, just continuing to put pressure on zone there, knowing that you can't be out too far in the middle when there's a sniper on the enemy team. So great job to Saffron Rice. That was just some really clean adaptation, great use of Baller. And, you know, we got to talk about the Baller, man. The Baller is back in style. This is not 1.3 anymore, but the Baller has found its way back into the meta, especially on splat zones.
Yeah, no, and it's been a real treat to see, right? I'm really glad we were able to see it as much, and that we've been able to see it as much as we have, because I don't know, it's definitely in some patches it's not gotten as much love as I wanted it to as a Super Monkey Ball fan myself. Either way, we're going to go ahead and get into a map we should be very, very familiar with.
Oh, man. Familiarity doesn't even begin to describe how we feel about this map. Clam Blitz. Oh, my gosh. We don't have the crowd here, man. It's just not the same. It's just not the same without people jumping. So I don't know who jumped higher in that situation, the super jumping squid or everyone in the crowd who knew what was about to happen at the end of that super jump. The height difference was about the same.
I don't know who jumped higher than Hermes, dude. I really don't know. Either way, we're going to get into this one, as it looks like Dia here going to take, you know, positioning on the perch here. It's Saffron Rice in green, SetToDestroyX in blue here. Saffron Rice now trailing by the tune of 2 games here, and they'll be looking to clean up their act and see what they can get going here on Clam Blitz. And they've shown that they definitely can stick it to SetToDestroyX in the past before.
Yeah, I love this pick of Kazuki going over to the Rapid Blaster here. Kazuki known a little bit more for the Vanilla Blaster and the Custom Blaster, but this is a map where you can really utilize that Rapid Blaster and the pain that it can put on. 2 of them going to go down. Kiver's the last one. They're going to go ahead and get that early pop. A completely different Saffron Rice team.
This is relatively impressive, I'd like to say so myself. I mean, we're seeing an effort here that was just straight up. It wasn't even like, you know, a brilliant, like, macro level you know, movement across the map. It was just straight up. They went down the middle and they took care of what they needed to take care of.
They did. Kazuki did a great job of rotating around with Phlox and just putting that little chip damage on there as Phlox continued to take space. Eventually, D-Nerd on that end zap, you know, is going to crash in with some ink armor as well. So I'm liking what I'm seeing here. They've shown that they know this map and mode. That wasn't even like Clam Blitz shenanigans. That was just a shellacking there at the start.
A shellacking. I love hearing that. Kiver coming in with the splashdown right next to... Ooh, I'm not sure who that quite is. It looks like that's Nerd that he might be able to get on top of. Yep, and SetToDestroyX looks like they have a football, 2 footballs ready to go, but they just don't have the manpower to actually push it. Phlox is going to be able to end that push himself, and yeah, good looks once again on the behalf of Saffron Rice here. They've been leading a clean defensive effort, at least on this first offensive bout from SetToDestroyX.
Phlox did such a great job of doing just enough to hold them back to allow Dia to come back over and just really kind of sweep that one up there. I know Phlox may not get those kills on the stat sheet, but Phlox is the one who set that up, just like you said.
Yeah, I'll have to see what else they can kind of do with it here. Oh, looks like Fuzzy's going to go down to the hands of Dia, and might need to clean up a little bit more, but, you know, while they were focusing on Ice, Hexen was able to sneak around the back, get a quick double here, and now SetToDestroyX are able to control the pace and tone of this map, or at least reset it back to neutral, kind of gain some footing, as it feels like they really haven't had that the entire game so far.
They haven't. A nice pick there on Kazuki there. Right now, SetToDestroyX is kind of split up. You see 3 in the middle. They're starting to move around here, starting to kind of pinch it from the top, but it's been enough time that Dia is able to set up on that spot there right over that gorge that we know about. Ice is going to try to get something going here with the Baller, and instead only finds the cold embrace of death. Kiver has now worked the way all the way to the back. I don't know if Kiver's called out. The super jump is going to come in as a result. That is going to be a pop. The second one is going to come in as well. But
it's just one clam. They weren't able to get it. Yep. And that's going to be the lead for SetToDestroyX, as it looked like for a second they weren't going to get the last single point needed, but they're keeping them rolling in right now, as Nerd wasn't able to get BTS in time there, and Ice is going to have a field day with the last couple of clams they were able to put in. Unfortunate for Saffron Rice, but for SetToDestroyX to be able to recover the way they did, props on them.
It is. Now keep an eye on that clam counter on the top right there. They have that pity here. They're going to put that in. That will chew through all of their penalty here. Phlox needs to find a way to get this win against Fuzzy on that 1v1 and does not. That's going to be 9 clams going the other way here. And that was the big pressure that they were going to put on, right? Because that means they were so close to another football. They had a jump set up as well, but now things are going from bad to worse. Then Phlox is going to jump in and get absolutely... Well, no, okay, never mind. Phlox gets a trade there and then gets swallowed up. But hey, it shouldn't have even gotten the 1, so decent trade.
Yeah, we'll take those, as they say. And it looks like here, Hexen on the left side of the map is able to get the clam ready. Might be able to just walk on in with the incline, but no, Phlox is going to be able to call that out and defend against it. So maybe now Hexen back to the drawing board and communicating with the teammates. All right, how can we get a coordinated push together going? Should I be distracting on this left side while you're accumulating the other clams on the opposite side? How do we approach this? Or maybe do we have to go on the offensive or defensive here, as it looks like Saffron Rice might be able to get their act together and get a push going here.
And Kazuki kind of went out by themselves there in that situation, running all the way to the bottom of the screen. Did win the 1v1 against Kiver, but does get crashed in and not really able to help the rest of the team. Now you're starting to see them get boxed in here by this incredibly mobile and devastating comp that SetToDestroyX has been running. 2 power clams and nothing going to show for it here. And now it starts to get desperation time. You saw Kazuki trying to grab that clam. It's because there aren't a lot of clams left on the map, and with 10 seconds left, they have no pity clam, no resources. I think SetToDestroyX finally has this win.
Yeah, it looks like they might be able to have that indeed. And, you know, Phlox with this 1v1, not going to be able to do much there. Not too much movement with clams there, and it looks like SetToDestroyX, after, you know, what was a tumultuous 1 push from SetToDestroyX, they just kind of chilled and, you know, sat around neutral, taking down 1 person, maybe going down after immediately, and, you know, they're fine with that. 4-1.
4-1, and I love their decision to just kind of throw all their clams away there at the end. So if you're not familiar with the intricacies of Clam Blitz, so the clams spawn in little pods of 4. If you take some of those, you have to take all 4 of those clams before the game respawns them. So if you grab 3 or 2 of those 4 clams, it'll just stay as 1 random clam sitting on the map there. And once you throw them away, they break. But you can kind of use that to artificially control the clam economy, if you will. And SetToDestroyX does understand that concept. We've seen them play so well on that mode, despite how new and volatile it can be. And, you know, those finer points on display right there.
What was the phrase you used for that? Can you repeat that again?
Clam economy.
Okay, clam. Sorry, I forgot we were playing CSGO here. My bad. You know what? You know, it would be so incredibly fun if Splatoon had that round by round kind of like economy look to it. I mean, obviously, Splatoon is what it is because of its incredible, like, fast, like, the momentum to each individual game and just being able to, like, your individual movement as well is just incredibly fast across the map. But what if? What if, like, NZAP was $9,000 or squid coins or whatever? I don't know.
Squid coins. I think they just call it gold, don't they?
They probably do. You know, that would be the safe bet to do. Yeah. Don't call me out like that, man. I'm just trying to chill.
No, I feel, and it would be pretty. It would be just enough to like spin the entire game on its head, right? Everything that we thought we knew would be going the other way. Imagine if like the opening weapons that you had were just like conventionally low tier weapons. I mean, will look completely different here. Game 7 and Game 9 of like those big long sets would be wacky. Those would be the only sets that, or the only games that actually looked like conventional Splatoon.
They really would, actually. Yeah. Either way, let's go ahead and get this one started here. We're going to be approaching Arrow on a Mall. This time, I believe on tower control here. We'll have to see if, you know, obviously at this point, Saffron Rice has to win 4 games in a row, which, I mean, let's be real, it might be a little bit difficult, but who knows? Let's see what they can do here. As it will see, SetToDestroyX in the purple and Saffron Rice in the green here. As we see Kiver approaching from the right side of the map, seeing what they can do, but quickly called out and going to quickly dip on out.
Yeah, Fuzzy, who I just switched to right, has got a nice direct there. What did you see? I have a feeling whatever you're about to talk about is more.
Well, no, it was like Kiver was like, oh, shoot, I see 2 people on the right side of the map. I better back off. But then he goes back instantly and just takes care of both of them. That was great.
That was great. But a pretty fun battle here in the middle right now. Arwana Mall, you know, a map that we're familiar with, of course, from Splatoon 1, but it's just ever so slightly different enough that we're still kind of learning how it goes.
Yeah, no, and obviously, like, you know, these players, most if not all of them, from Splatoon 1, they've been playing, so they're at least structurally familiar with it for the most part. Obviously, there's some new parts of the map, you know, especially towards where Dia is, that grading that you can kind of walk towards. the opponent's side of the map from middle, but you know, we're seeing them kind of get used to it. We'll have to see how used to it they are here on tower control. There shouldn't be too much variation here, as Hexen will be able to approach with the Inkjet on the left side of the map and get rid of Kazuki, as they're going to be able to start this push here. Dia, though, oh goodness, with the weapon he's employing here on the left side of the map, should be able to at least get rid of Fuzzy here, or at least push the tower back towards neutral as he waits for the rest of his teammates to be able to help him out.
Yeah, Fuzzy in a pretty awkward spot right here up against the other Rapid. Picks a good time to jump off there, but really clean direct there. Now D-Nerd and Ice gonna fight it out here. D-Nerd is able to get that trade here. So the Stingray is a pretty, I mean, you know, you like the Stingray here. That's interesting because Dia gave up a pretty strong position to use it, and I don't think got too much off of it.
No, really didn't, unfortunately. Like, he jumped down from top to, like, just the ground level, and really, like, what do you really gain on that, except for maybe confusing your opponent on where the splat link really should be? Unfortunately, yeah, gonna lose the positioning on that one, and Tower did push to 56. They do have a slight lead here. Obviously, 56 isn't a deal breaker, but they really want to watch out here and make sure that, you know, they do have some men to cover this part of town, and it looks like Kivi here as well as Ice are pushing up onto this right side where Phlox might be with the Slosher, and ooh, Phlox here in a really tough position, getting some love here from Dia, but it's not going to be enough as they push towards the 30-point marker, and it's ticking down here. Fuzzy's just chilling on the tower with not too much opposition. Kazuki here is able to get rid of him finally with the Rapid Blaster, but they're still pushing this one up, and Ice here by himself able to push it to the 5-point marker, this close to ending the set and the game. Fuzzy is still on it. They're all super jumping in, but it's not going to be enough, and that is going to be the push, I guess. But it's towards a 3-point marker. Like, that almost, frankly, might as well be game. Saffron Rice needs to just knock it out at this point.
Yep, some desperation play is going to have to come in here. And even though one of the reasons why Dia giving up that position, back to the points earlier, was so important is even though he jumped back there and used a Stingray on tower, that allowed the rest of SetToDestroyX to come in and take that lower area there, that court. And as a result of that, they had no way to come back in and stop those pushes. All they had to do was figure out where Dia was, use their double blaster composition to kind of chip away at that. And, I mean, every time you saw a bucket from Saffron Rice jump down there, they just got swarmed. So, it's just so interesting to see the snowball effect from something that seems pretty small.
Right, yeah. No, yeah, it seems... Yeah, we were seeing it. Like, it didn't seem like much of anything would happen. Definitely not something near a knockout there. Definitely just the way it sometimes is. Kipper here on the incline here, moving from side to side on the map. I love these things. Just love these things, and the mobility it kind of gives the teams and how it changes the way people can approach offensive efforts or defensive ones at that. Either way, Kipper towards the middle of the map. And, yeah, having a little bit of difficulty getting to this right side. Maybe thought someone was there, but, you know, think nothing of it. And instead, activate the Inkjet and wait out Dia here, see what he can do. As we have a little bit of a weird standoff here between Inkjet and Dia.
Yeah, and one of the reasons we've seen the comeback of Inkjet recently, and one of the big reasons for that is that we see so much Splatling here. One of the few things that can really approach a nested-in Splatling is going to be the one-shot mobility potential of that Inkjet. And we know a lot of great weapons use Inkjet, right? People are talking about this as the T-Tech is back, and it's because of that. It's because the meta and just the back-and-forth situations that you see from that. Speaking of a situation here, if not for that Stingray, it looked like Saffron Rice was about to get something started here. But as it so often does, SetToDestroyX just kind of closes that one out. You see two buckets at the top of the screen there. One of them's going to go down. Dia's going to go down. You understand those jumps, yeah. Desperation here, but as time ticks away, I think we can put this one to bed.
SetToDestroyX will be taking the set 5-1 here in the Transatlantic Splatoon League. It's their first set of the league, and they're going to be able to take it resoundingly here. Job well done on behalf of the one of the North American greats here currently in modern-day Splatoon, as they're going to be able to take the 1-0 record in the Transatlantic Splatoon League, and obviously they have quite the road ahead of them, but, you know, with the performance they had here, especially with the step-in from Ice's part, not too worried for them.
No, not too worried at all, and just a win, showing dominance over all of the modes, right? They got to win in every single their Clan Blitz, they showed that. Sometimes people say, oh, you can cheese the top team with Clan Blitz. Top teams are pretty good at Clan Blitz too, so I mean, I think this is pretty well par of the course. SetToDestroyX, seeing how they do. This is one that we're going to be watching this week and next week, even further along. So,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And, you know, obviously, if you guys are tuning in and wondering what we're really casting about, this is the Transatlantic Splatoon League. 5 weeks of competition. You can find out all that and more on Transatlantic Splat. This was a week 2 match, so we still have a lot of matches from week 3, week 4, and week 5 coming on up. I believe SetToDestroyX's next match will be against... It was to be Neptune, but I believe Neptune is being replaced by the ones recently, new team called, I believe it's called Prophecy.
That's some hot off the presses stuff.
Yeah, no, I believe it happened like as recently as last night. This is a team, I believe, Rafa from Ink Delta is also on it.
You knew that Rafa wasn't going to stay a free agent for
No, definitely not. No, are you kidding? No, that boy was on the prowl for a team. Yeah, it looks like I don't know. I'm kind of really excited to see like how this team can kind of perform. They're going to be their first test, and it's going to be against SetToDestroyX. So I don't know, it might be a little bit difficult, you know, but we'll have to see where they can kind of run with this one. And I'm sure, if nothing else, the team is very ready to use this as kind of like good practice.
A trial by fire, man. That's where the what is it? The most beautiful diamonds are forged in the hottest of fires. What's that? What's that old cliche?
Try another metaphor. Go.
I'm all out of
Oh,
it,
dang. I'm sorry. I'm sorry our creative liberties really just halted at that one metaphor. That's a real shame to hear. Yeah, no, Prophecy consisting of Rafa, Killer, Blake, and the one from Neptune. So really a lot of people from Neptune and just plus Rafa. I don't know. They're looking to give this one a go. Also in week 3, we're kind of looking forward to seeing, what is it? Saffron versus Tomo, who just recently came off of 5-0ing Saikai. So that'll be a fun one for... I think that actually might be a pretty fun one, pretty close one to watch. Because Tomo, I feel like they have... I mean, given their recent 5-0 on Saikai, some really high highs, and then some, I don't know, some chillin' lows.
Yeah, Tomo's really... I feel like recently Tomo's been coming on super, super strong, and now's the perfect time. We're kind of entering that... We're getting close to a certain big tournament that involves 200-plus teams and features Turf War. The North American, I don't know, U.S.-Canada Inkling Open, is that the full name of it? Is that like the trademark name for it?
I think that's what it's really hard to abbreviate.
It is hard to abbreviate, but seeing Tomo kind of pull things together right here, they're one of the, of course, SetToDestroyX is going to be the favorite, but they're one of the teams that, if anyone's got a shot to take it over them, it's going to be Tomo. And so we'll see. They're getting hot at the right time. We'll see if that carries over.
Yeah, we really will have to keep our eyes out, man. I mean, this is something that, you know, how crazy would it be for Tomo to show up in all the right ways on game day and, you know, beyond just make it the top 8. Like, screw that. Take the whole thing. I mean, given that recent performance and, as you said, like, how well they've been playing recently, like, I don't know. It could kind of happen. We know that, you know, SetToDestroyX, they have Kiver on their team, so they're definitely looking at least for that one last player. We'll have to see who they come up with for sure. And things, you know, given that it's like 13 plus and that it's US Canada only, you might see some roster shakeups like that going into that tournament. And that's only in, what is it, 2 weeks. So definitely looking forward to it at this point.
Should be a great time. Is this the filling match we've got scheduled for today, though, if I'm not mistaken?
Yep, that should be it. Teams, you know, one of the liberties of the league has been that teams can kind of organize where they need to, and if, you know, they can't happen to play on one day, it's not the end of the world. So, yeah, this is the one scheduled match for today, and it looks like we're going to have a bunch of matches next week that are a combination of week 3 and week 4 matches. So, looking forward to it.
Is there anything else that we want to talk about here, or
I
think we kind of talked about this one here. I'm trying to like see if the results have been posted yet. It might take a little bit. I know Fuzzy's hopping back to another tournament that he hopped over here for. A Splat Zones only tournament, if I'm not mistaken. But be interested in seeing. We talked earlier about just seeing the results, and that is one of the other liberties that this league has. It's really nice is they post the SplatNet results screen, which of course shows both your kills, your assists, your deaths, the amount of paint that you did, and the specials. That's the most comprehensive results screen that the game has. So it's really fun to take a look at that and just kind of identify. You know, painting is such an underrated aspect. I feel like we all say paint control, but to see the numbers listed out and show who was really going about and doing that, or if it was a full team effort, it's just that much better.
Yeah, it really is, and that just, I don't know. It's really. I feel like we haven't reached really what is possible in terms of like that coordination. I don't know. Like, there's so much left for Splatoon. I know there's been conversations recently of like, you know, banning this and that. And I think the point that goes against banning, and what really excites me, this point just really excites me just for the future of Splatoon, is that we're only like, I don't know, like 8 months into the game, and there's still so much to be said about what's going to come out, and like, you know, maps that might be come out, and whatever eventual map list we decide is, oh, okay, this is probably the better map list to use for tournaments. There's so much to be said for this game, and it's just genuinely really fun to keep up with all the action of it. So,
it is.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to how teams can develop, and especially within these next 2 weeks. I don't know how many Turf War tournaments there are going to be within the next 14 days, but I'm sure we're going to see teams all over the place trying to grind out whatever they can and get things ready for what will be an important open tournament in 2 weeks.
Single a limb too, so you don't get long.
Yeah.
I mean, you get like what, 1 game's worth of mistakes that you can make, and then you better get things figured out. I know AC and I were talking a little earlier today. There are a lot more people are talking about seeding top 32 and like who's going to be top 32. There's a lot more than 32 good competitive teams in this tournament.
That is the scary bit. That is the actual scary bit. Someone is going to go
home early. There are 200 plus registered teams and over 300 pending teams, man.
Yeah, no,
there's so many teams.
Yeah, no, okay, so let's. So this is essentially becoming a podcast at this point, which I'm totally fine for. What I am so like excited for is that like genuinely, when you look back at last year's numbers, there were like, what is it? There were a lot of pending teams, right? But like, it was like a 1-to-1 ratio pending teams to end teams, and I'm seeing 300 pending teams, and I'm like, oh my god, we're going to actually have like something that rivals like, I don't know, Japanese tournament brackets in terms of like sizes, and it's going to be nearly as cutthroat as that. It's not quite a best of 3 as you typically see, or even best of 1s in Japanese tournaments, but it's still going to be pretty cutthroat. So I don't know.
It will be, and if you do the math there too, let's say 500 teams. Let's just assume that all of them, and I know this isn't true. Let's assume all of them only bring in 4 people. Let's assume that nobody has a sub listed, which is we know isn't true, but for simplicity here, 500 plus teams, 4 people, and that's 2,000 plus people playing or at least signing up to play in a Splatoon tournament on one day, and that's just mind-blowing to me. 2,000 plus entrants.
Yeah, it's nutty. I'm looking forward to it, and that's only in 2 weeks time, so yeah, definitely can't wait to see all those matches. Let's go ahead and wrap this one up. Thank you guys for joining us here for Transatlantic Splatoon League. You'll be able to catch more action next week, hopefully at Saturday, but we might be casting all across Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to make sure teams can actually play when they're available. You'll see more updates on that on twitter.com/endgame_TV when we have that schedule possible for you guys. In the meantime, though, it's been Eirik and 9 Whole Grains. 9, it's been a pleasure, as usual.
Always is.
And we're signing off. Take care, guys. Thank you guys for watching.